What's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Today we're going to be installing a wide body kit on this Miata. Now, I've got an all metal wide body kit for this thing that's going to come in and cover up some of these tires. There's just one issue, which is some fabrication required. So this is some 20 gauge sheet metal, and I've got some wire rod here. And the goal is to put a wide body kit onto this car for around, I don't know, 50 bucks. So let's see how it works out. First, I'm going to basically just take this rod. I'm going to build a little skeleton. This is just some, hell, I don't even know what diameter this is. Just some cheap hardware store rod. This is just to give it some rigidity and actually be able to do some shapes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this contour right here. I'm then going to take the rod and move it out about, I don't know, 6 inches maybe. I'll play around with it. And then once I kind of get it where I like it, I'll go ahead and tack it on. And then I'll go ahead and put a second rod up onto the body of the car right here. We'll then lay down some poster board over that to sort of build a template, and then we'll cut that template out of this sheet metal right there. So in that way we'll have, and I'll make sure to cut 2 pieces out of the same template so that way we can replicate it over on the other side. But I've never done this before, I have no idea what I'm doing, so hopefully this works out. I did get a couple of cool tools to be able to help me out with this. One of them is a bead roller to help me sort of make a lip on the edge of it. I also got a shrinker stretcher machine where little dies that will help me crimp everything. I've never used these things before, so this will be a learning experience for me. And then I also got a cheapo little eBay Harbor Freight-ish. It's not even Harbor Freight, it's cheaper than Harbor Freight. English wheel. So my idea is I want to put a little bit of radius into that outer fender, but hopefully when we get done there might actually be something here to look at, so enjoy. I'm basically just matching up this radius to this fender, and as I go around, finding out where it needs to be bent a little bit more, just using my knee. And after just a couple of minutes, you can get a piece that actually follows that inner fender. So now that I've got this metal rod kind of bent into shape of where I want it to be, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of eyeball it from where I want it to be and measure, I guess, kind of how I want this, call it, fender, how far I want it to go. This is all very precise stuff, as you can see here. So I'm going to say I want it to look like that. About 5 inches, so we'll add an extra 1/4 of an inch to be able to lip around, and then we'll add another inch to make like a flare at the end, I guess, so call it 6 1/4. I don't know, I'm making it up as I go along. And then from there, I think I'm going to go down probably, I don't know, 3 inches. So we'll go ahead and put a loop then on the top of here that's 3 inches out away from here. So in that way we'll have this side and then this side, and we can go ahead and start making our pattern. So first thing I need to do though is I need to measure 3 inches all the way around this. So in that way I can, which is really difficult when you're ruler. That looks official, doesn't it? We'll even bring it down in here. Happy trees. So now that we've got our official pattern, we'll call it 3 inches up, 5-ish inches out some places. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. So now I got my 3-inch mark sort of taped off. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be bending the second rod, follow that contour. We'll then tack this rod onto this body panel, and we'll use that as our ledge, kind of our point to weld to for the rest of this stuff. Like I said, it's about 3 inches up from the bottom. I'm guesstimating all of this stuff, so if it turns out great, if it doesn't, I'm not really worried about it. It's something I've actually really come to enjoy about this hobby, the fact that there's basically not any rules for any of this. You kind of just do it however you want to. Now we'll go ahead and weld on this bar, and that'll be our first step in building our fender. Oh, there's acetone on it. Oops! I got that on camera. It's welded. Holy crap. Alright, well now that that's slightly singed, I need to go around, clean this up, put a couple more tacks into it. And just like that, the fender's done. No, I'm just kidding. That's a lot of pieces missing out of that video. What happened was my video actually stopped recording. I noticed last night when I was looking at the clips, stopped recording right after I got done lighting myself on fire and doing the center piece. The next step after that is to do this outer piece right here. So all this is just that piece of rod that's bent to the same shape as the fender opening right here. I went ahead and stanced it off a little bit, and then you just weld on these little cross bracing bars. And then down here at the bottom I just bent it back over, so in that way it comes back in the fender. And that piece right there is actually, even just with the little tacks, really structurally sound. So once you go ahead and get this piece done, the next thing is to build a template, and that's what this piece of paper is right here. So this piece of paper is my template, and unfortunately you guys don't get to see me struggle with construction paper for an hour or so. But basically at the end of the process, you make a paper template like this that then goes over the fender and covers it up exactly and kind of goes to the body lines. This isn't perfectly lined up, but so what I then did is I used this template that was from the other side that I created, and I've duplicated it over here. So in that way I am sure that these are both somewhat the same, they somewhat look the same. So that piece fits on here, which means that technically it should look about the same as the one that I did over there. So now that I've got those, I can go ahead and cut this all out of steel and start building this fender, which I still have video clips of, so I'll let you guys watch that now. Just like that, we now have ourselves one custom wide body fender. Kind of, sort of. Still needs some work. But you get the idea. And now for the fun part. You just need to go ahead and bend this metal. Oh yeah. There's sometimes a point in a project where you get to a certain area and realize just how absolutely ridiculous the crap that you're doing is. This is that moment for me. Wow. Let's tape off here. That's going to be so awesome. Alright, now it comes down to fitment. It's a difficult machine to work by yourself, as I'm finding out. Probably can get a shrinker in there, shrink that down, pull that fender, form over this. I put a socket down here in the bottom of my vise. That way it spaces this entire thing up just a little bit for me. The base of this thing is solid, so you can clamp down on it pretty hard. I think it's actually designed to do that. really, really well. Holy cow. That moves metal quickly. Alright, so now I've kind of got the fender fitted how I want to. I've got it held into place with these clamps. I've treated my lip here. If I do say so myself, looks pretty good. I gotta do 4 more of them, or 3 more of them. But this has been a good learning experience. So I'll go ahead and tack it on and make some adjustments where I need to. Probably round up this corner here. Do a little bit of pushing, but pulling. This is one wide-bodied fender for a Miata. Super cheap. That only took a day's worth of time. Oh, it freaking worked. And it looks awesome. Wow. Never in a million years would I have thought that that was as easy as it was. Alright, so we got the other side welded on. It is close enough for a gambler car. This thing ain't going to seamless, so not that worried about it. Honestly though, I'm really excited with how these are turning out. This is turning out to be such an awesome project. Next, I'm moving on to the backs. Obviously, I've switched the car around. What I'm doing here is I've just got this metal rod, and I've kind of just bent it kind of over the tire. I accidentally picked up thicker metal rod than last time. This is 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch is way too thick. It should make for a nice rigid structure, but quite honestly, this is going to be a pain in the butt to work with. So, I think the other stuff was 3/16. So, this front here, this is a 4-foot piece. As you can see, there's some overhang. I'll probably end up cutting that off there. But this is how we start the process. So, I've got about a 3-inch gap all the way around from the wheel well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark this entire thing out, kind of get an idea of where it is that I want this bar, and then I'm going to take this, measure from a couple key points, like up there on the, from probably this corner here, do some measuring back here to the actual fender, do some measuring from the door, and then also to the bottom. I'm going to take this over to the other side and duplicate it over there, so that way, even though these cutouts may not be exactly the same, I know that those fenders will be and they'll look really good in the end, so get to work. Alright, so now we've got a paper template for the rear. That's the process that unfortunately didn't record the last time. Pretty much so, it's the same thing for the front. This is just a little bit easier to template. It's a little bit straighter. Alright, so I've got the sheet metal cut out. I need these clamps to kind of hold on. What I want to do is I want to get this outer edge perfect. I'm not worried about this side at all. I'm not really worried about the end. I'll go ahead and taper that off so that way it doesn't hit anything over there. But really all I'm looking for right now is just that it's sitting flat against the panel, or against the wireframe underneath, both on the front and the back. And then that this seam up here matches all the way around. Which, because this is a much straighter piece, it actually does. So I'll go ahead and get this all sort of bent into shape and everything. Alright, pretty good. What we'll do now is I'm going to draw a line in this inside edge that I can then use to measure off of for that lip. Alright, as you can see, I've got my line here. I'll then measure 1 inch away from that. I'll then cut that with the air shears to have a nice clean edge. I will then roll this in the bead roller to go ahead and give me that lip. Now we've got the actual fender onto the car. I've got it held in place with a couple of clamps. It's fitting pretty good. I'm liking how this shape is working out for me. We've got pretty close fitment, a couple of areas where we're going to push to be able to tack it together and everything. But as for the majority of this, I'm super happy with how it's turning out. So a little bit more massaging work will be this one, and I got one more to do. But all in all, this entire project, it's going to take a couple of weekends probably, and you got to buy some specialty tools, but this should probably look really cool when it's done. So thanks for joining me. If you guys have any questions, I always answer in the comments. You can also follow me at Gambler Score on Instagram. So I also do the Gambler Scores for anybody that likes those. And I'll see you guys later.